Clicking the link, lean in, your grin, 2 mics, 1 vibe. All right, let's dive.
Well, good evening, everyone. We are back. It's the Contagious, and we are as contagious as we ever were. So be prepared. It's going to get cliche now, but you're going to get infected. So Maya and I are here. So, hey, Maya.
Hello.
Oh,
Sorry it's been a while. We've been kind of busy. Everyone's been in their own little zone with their own little things, and but we're back. We're this time we are going to be talking about festivals and cons. We have our guest Chris Rennirt from Space Jockey Reviews. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. That's me.
Yeah, we're mainly going to be talking about festivals and cons. Not long ago, John and Chris went to, what kind of con was it?
Days of the Dead.
Yes, Days of the
Days
Dead.
of the Dead. Okay, so what is the best thing about Days of the Dead for you guys?
Wow. That's a loaded big question, huh?
Yes, it sure is.
Oh, wow.
That's a big question with a lot of answers.
Yes, that's the
I'm not sure this podcast is long enough for me to cover all those points.
Okay, did you meet anyone that you all like that you thought was like, wow, it's amazing. I can't believe I met that person at this con.
I got to meet and interview Tony Todd.
Oh yeah?
Don Corsorelli, who did the Phantasm series.
Yeah?
And who did you get to meet, Chris? I know you got to wander around and meet some folks.
Yes, I did talk to Tony Todd briefly, and then as we were on our way to have dinner, and Linda Blair was behind us.
Oh wow!
I remember that.
She got nailed for taking.
That's right. She was carrying a drink, I think it was a Mountain Dew or whatever, and they stopped her. But since she was Linda Blair, they let her on through with it.
Oh really?
Yes.
But it was like,
it's just a drink. Why they stop her?
Well, but I know, John, they stopped you. You had a whole case of them, and they stopped you for sure. So.
I had a case of some Sprite. And they stopped me, and I'm just like, well, you know what? Then they should have stopped me yesterday, too. And I took so many pictures going through there, and I noticed in a few, and in the background was my Sprite, the security set back in the...
Right.
And it was there when Linda Blair got stopped.
Right.
Still sitting. I was like, man, she could distract him, and I could grab it and run.
So I think it's safe to say that the security detail there was not one of our favorite groups of people to meet. Isn't that, John?
Yeah.
Even though they didn't let you bring in certain things, but do you agree that they were more organized, Chris, than fans?
Yes. I must say, as a comment from a reviewer of movies who I also now feel like I should review festivals and conventions, and I will say that just about anything I've been to was more organized than Fandom Fest.
It was a disaster.
Yes, it was.
None of the employees knew where was what, and then when some sounded like they knew where what was, they give you the wrong direction. You go to another one, they give you the wrong direction. So you're running around in circles. There's no signs anywhere. The maps don't really tell you what's where. It's ridiculous. It was so bad. It was terrible. No, nobody was there to tell what line is what, so everyone just piled up in lines, and there's like lines everywhere.
Well, not meaning to be oxymoronic or anything, but it was, I would describe it as an organizational mess.
So, what was the worst thing, well, I wouldn't say worst thing, what the least you liked about the Days of the Dead?
The least I liked about it.
Oh, my.
These are so simple questions. Come on now.
Well, I guess the least I liked was just that I was unable to buy as much as I wanted to buy. There were too many things that I was interested in buying.
You were
So
going
I think
broke.
they should have had less variety of things to tempt me to spend money. That's the only complaint I had. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoever tells someone to have less stuff to buy? No, you should have brought more money.
That's true. I was just being facetious. No, it's really my fault. I should just bring less money to these things. Yes.
It's always your fault.
I'd say
Yes.
my only complaint would be, honestly, I've always had a good experience going, but I would say this time, because it became an issue for me, and for me trying to help somebody who was helping the vendor's table all weekend long, was the security about my frickin' 6-pack of soda.
Oh, 6-pack of soda. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that it ended too soon.
Well, actually, the incident did not end soon enough. Actually, it went on for some time. Actually, I thought at first they might arrest you, John. It got pretty intense. It was tough getting those sodas away from you, but you pulled out of it in the end. I noticed though the sodas were still there at the end of the show. Did you get them before you left?
No, security was guarding it like it was a frickin' Fort Knox.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well,
at least they ain't drinking either, so.
So just don't take sodas to Days of the Dead and you'll be okay. As long as you buy them at the hotel, you'll be fine.
Put them into a bag or put them in your pocket somehow and hide them, but don't let it be seen that you've got them, or they will take them.
Right.
So was it a one-day thing?
It was a...
Well, for you it was, Chris.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. So it was a weekend thing.
Yep. I went 3 days.
So, Chris, why didn't you go 3 days? You were broke that first day?
No, I was not broke, but I think I would have been had I gone 3 days. Actually, what happened is I went with a friend, and it was just the plan to go one day. But if I had known what it was like, I probably would have gone 2 days. I would have gone a couple of days and would have enjoyed it twice as much, I think.
So next year, when this comes around again, are you guys planning on going for all 3 days again?
Let me think about that a minute. Yes?
Yes, let me think about that in a minute. Yes, that was the minute. That was the second.
It's a week earlier next year, so instead of waiting 52 weeks, we only have to wait 51.
So I was thinking I'll possibly fly down there just for the heck of it, just to go to this thing, since it's so much better than Fandom Fest.
Great.
And
Chris has been to both of them, and Fandom Fest was just really terribly unorganized.
It really was.
We didn't even want to go the second day unless but we sort of felt we had to because we had plans. But, if we didn't really have the plans, to be honest with you, as unorganized it was, I was like, I'm probably not going to go to it.
Well, some bad reviews I've seen from folks.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. I mean, they sold a lot of things, but not everything was like, wow, we have to buy it. So, Chris, tell me, the difference in vendors from Fandom Fest and Days of the Dead.
From what I saw, it was pretty much the same type of vendors. It's typically mostly a horror event. There's always...
Fest was 3 cons put together.
Yeah, that just seems to be the overwhelming, most popular thing. So it was pretty much, as a matter of fact, I saw a lot of the same vendors there.
Oh, really?
Fandom Fest, yes.
I guess they travel around to all the fests around here.
Yes, it's pretty much the same people. I saw a lot of the same independent movie makers
But not the same stars, though.
No, not the same stars, exactly, no.
So, would you say that Fandom Fest, if they didn't have the anime and the gaming con in this Fandom Fest, would you say that Fandom Fest is bigger than Days of the Dead, or Days of the Dead is bigger than Fandom Fest?
I would say Fandom Fest is a little bigger, but it's also a little confusing because you have part of it in the convention center, part of it in the Galt House. So when you have to walk back and forth, you get the feeling that it's bigger. Even though, it is a little bigger, but some of that comes from the traveling time, I believe. A little bit of it is not what it seems.
So, did you guys have the food in Days of the Dead? Was it good or was it nasty?
Well,
I always heard that food in there was nasty, but
Excellent.
really?
well, they had like little a little like table things set up where some of the hotel staff would sell pizza and things like that, and they were like $5 a slice, and it's all right. It's not bad. I had it last year, but we went to the restaurant that's there, and we had a nice little meal. And I'm going, it did one of it was actually more economical than buying pizza and a soda or whatever, and it was much better. So I mean, we had a nice little meal, you know. It was
Yes.
tasty.
When we were in Phantom Fest, the food didn't look very good. Like, they didn't really have, like, food. They only had, like, the hotel bringing out wrap stuff that's been there all day. So, like, we went outside to eat. It was cheaper that way, one. And two, we were away from the crowd that was just insanely crazy. And three, the food was so much better outside, too. I would assume than something that's been sitting there all day, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, I know I believe it was Saturday, the fire marshal shut it down for a little while because there were too many people there.
Oh, yeah, the Norman
Yes.
Reedus problem.
Right. And that really upset a lot of people who...
I mean, if you think about it, it's like when Stanley had 1,000 people standing in line for him, Norman Reedus had like over 2,000 people standing in line for him. The line was ridiculous. And by the end of it, like to the next day, he still had that same big line, no matter how many has left, more just keep coming. It's ridiculous. And like, even when like, people already paid to take photo op with him and stuff like that, but like, the time was up, but people still stayed in line, and they're trying to tell them they can't take pictures. I'm like, you can't do that. You have to finish it. You already took these people money. So like, they had to like stay later or something like that from what I heard. It was ridiculous. Like, you shouldn't, if you know you wouldn't be able to like take all these pictures since everything was already set and time and everything, you shouldn't be taking people's money and saying, oh yeah, we can do this. And like, even though they shut it down by like shutting down like taking the money for photo ops for these people in Saturday, they should have shut it down in Friday when they knew that they wouldn't be able to make that timeline. But they were greedy, is keep getting more money and more money, and then they end up having to shut things down, and it was ridiculous. A lot of people were very mad.
Right, and they need to remember that these people who get mad are the people who may not return again the next year if they have bad experiences. And again, a lot of that is the result of not planning, I suppose. I know it's a huge job to plan a convention. I can't even imagine doing it myself, but it just seems to me that there could have been a better plan than what I saw.
It didn't even look like there was a plan, to be honest with you. Like I've been to like a thing called BlizzCon before. It's like a gaming convention or whatever. And they had an employee stand at each corner in each line to direct people.
Well,
like at Fandom Fest, you saw how they put like a little piece of paper at the little line thing, and it keeps falling down, and all they do is they scribble scrap on it. Who just need that? Like, it's ridiculous.
How long has Fandom Fest been going on?
I'm not sure exactly. I don't know.
Me that
they make a shitload of money, but they can't get actual employees that know anything, you know?
Well, there was more than one time that I asked a staff member a question, and the sentence was ended with, I don't know, I'm not sure, or I believe, that sort of thing. It was very frustrating not getting answers from people who should have known.
Right. Now, you know what? Now, I wonder, and I'm just saying this because, you know, I've helped out, like, with them Horror Hound before, and I know a lot of those folks there, basically what they do is that they donate their time to help them for, like, 6 hours, and in exchange, they get a free ticket in for that day. And so they're getting compensated a bit, but they're still working a vast part of the day. And a lot of these folks, when you get there, you find out, okay, this is how the crowd's looking today. And it's looking like a lot bigger than what we were expecting because walk-ins are coming. So here's the game plan. I need you guys to go watch the doors for the movie screenings. and we're going to try to find you a way to get a listing of the films and times and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And a lot of it is you get there and you have your organization in your like little tree of what you're going to do, but then you hope that it stays true to that once you get it rolling, because it can get all out of whack real quick. And some of these folks just don't know what they're doing because they're just volunteering, but some of them won't bother to go find out either.
If I was the person planning a convention, I will have, like, there's enough employees they had, even people that volunteer, to be set at every corner. A lot of them just stood a bunch together, sitting there talking. Mm-hmm. Like, you can set every employee at each line, one employee at each line, and give them their, saying, hey, you need to do this. When people come to this line, make sure they're going for this. Or, like having someone, each employee should have a map, which the maps were setting on the table, wasn't even handed to people, so people have to go look for it themselves. Yep. Every employee needs to have a map and needs to have a list of paper saying what is what. You don't need to give that to every, customer, but you need to give it to every employee so they know and how to give their exact directions. Like, if I was to review a con, I would probably give that con, like, out of 10, it'd probably be like a 3, not even. Mm-hmm. It's still unorganized just because one thing was behind on schedule by an hour. Everything else had to be? No. If that was behind schedule by 1 hour because of it can schedule an hour during another time, not making the entire con behind in 1 hour. And just because that con was behind in 1 hour, everything started pushing to 1.5 to 2 hours behind. So everything was behind. It was ridiculous. It's bad enough when things behind. They made everything behind.
Well, I think the schedules they gave out had incorrect times for events. I know the independent filmmaking party we went to was rescheduled for a couple of hours later, and I suspect that a lot of people just came in at the right time and then just didn't come back.
Yeah, we almost left, but we were like, we're just gonna sit here for a little bit.
Right, and I know that. Again, I know that I heard that they expected 25,000 people and 40,000 showed up, so that, of course, could account for some of the problems. But I still don't excuse a lot of the...
If they had an organized staff, they wouldn't have a problem no matter how many showed up, because...
That's true.
Yeah, they would have led them to the right line. A lot of people stayed in this long Norman Reedus line when they're not really planning to be at Norman Reedus line. They're planning to be in Stan Lee's line, and they're standing there wasting like 2 hours of their time when they could have been led to the right line the entire time. You know what I mean? So that line probably wouldn't have been like thousands of people in a line like that and then had to be shut down.
Yes, and then I heard a lot of people complaining, even just incidentally as I was standing here or there, I would hear people complaining about the schedule or this and that. And it was just an unusual amount of peripheral dissatisfaction I was hearing. And I didn't hear that, for example, at Days of the Dead. Right. Yeah. I don't know if you heard any of it, John, but it didn't.
I mean, I can see if Norman Reedus was there, I can see them having sort of a problem with having too many people too, but besides that, if it was organized, they wouldn't have a problem at all.
Right.
Right.
I know that's how it was. I know when Horror Hound in Cincinnati had some of the Walking Dead crew, they had Norman, they had Michael Rooker, and they had Little Carl, and there's somebody else. They had, I forget who else it was. In the first night, they said it was just a disaster because it was just like the floodgates just like...
Exactly. That's what happens when Norman Reedus is there.
Yeah, but then what they did is that they made adjustments, and what was taking for less people a lot longer to do on Friday took more people, and the time was cut down to about a fourth as a wait because they were able to make their adjustments and what they needed to do. But they were like, we knew it was going to be big, but we weren't anticipating this big because we knew how many tickets we had sold, but we weren't expecting all these people to come up and want to buy tickets that day as many as they did. It was just like people were like, well, the state of Ohio is going to Cincinnati this weekend, instead of like, yeah, we had a lot of people show up. But they got it adjusted, which I thought they did very good at.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's a matter too of, the people in charge of it. How organized are they? What kind of game plan do they have? How old of a con is it? Like, Horehound's been around for a while, so it's got a kind of an established protocol which they can just work around with. And Days of the Dead, I think, just got started off on the right foot. Each year it grows, and they make their adjustments as they go along, so they're learning and adjusting, but they got smart people to know how to sit there and go, okay, we're having an issue here, let's knock it out now and take care of it. And like spending an hour discussing what is the solution, and now it costs 2 hours with the work.
Well, another thing that just happened to me by chance, I had waited until the Monday of the week to try to buy my tickets online, and the registration was already shut down. So on the last minute on Thursday, I heard you could go downtown and buy the tickets at the hotel. So I did that and got the wristband. I had to pay an extra $10. But when I showed up Friday morning, the line just to have your PayPal receipt checked if you bought them online was all the way down the hall and to the stairs. And so that means you have to stand in this big line, even though you have pre-purchased your tickets. It would be a good idea if they would announce that you could go to the hotel and buy your tickets and get the wristband and then bypass all that. It would help to alleviate that line. And then I noticed after I went on through with my wristband, passed up the crowd, went on over to the convention center, and there was another registration area to buy the tickets, and there were very few people in there. So if they had some staff members who would direct some of the people in this line to go on over to the convention center, they could have helped with that big backup, and there was no such direction there, no signs or anything.
Wow, that's not good.
And like Maya said, there were many cases where the signs that labeled or identified whatever were just scribbled down with a pen, as in going over it and over it and over. It just didn't look very professional.
It was pretty bad. Do you think?
I mean, I really hate to be.
Not to print these papers at the hotel. There's like a freaking printer place there that they could have just typed up something very simple and tape it up. That looks so much more professional than a little piece of paper. It just scribbled all over it.
The ability to print something out these days with computers is just too available, and it's too inexcusable. It's not like you have to go anyplace special and do it. It's just right there for everybody. Just maybe have somebody in charge of making signs.
Well, I mean, as much complaints as they had this year, I'm hoping that they will take that and, think about it and make it a little more organized next year. Because if it's like this next year, I don't think I want to go back again,
Mm-hmm.
Well, as anyone who knows me, I do not like being critical. I really don't. I don't like to point out such negative things. But in this case, it really needs to be done. And I will also say that even when something is as bad as that was, I still wind up enjoying these things in spite of it all, because I'm just in that atmosphere of all the horrific things. You know what I'm talking about, John?
Yeah.
It's just, you find the right thing, you want to buy this or that, and you leave at the end of the day, you're happy anyway.
But, Chris, you have to be honest with us, though. And I know deep down in your heart, the whole reason why you had a ball, regardless of all that other nonsense and crap.
It's because of you.
Because you got to hang out with Maya.
Exactly. I was getting to that. That was the next thing I was going to say. And then I was going to end it, John, by saying that the best thing about being at Days of the Dead was actually hanging out with you. So it's really hard to go wrong when you got the right friends with you anyway.
And seriously, I think that does make a big difference, because I've seen folks who went and they just had the wrong people to go with, and it was awful for them. They couldn't even enjoy themselves as much. And I know when I found folks that I could hang out with, or like when Chris went, it does make a difference, because you both are enjoying it, and you enjoy being around each other, and it can make a lot of difference in how your weekend goes, even if it is a messed up convention. If you have good company to sit there and talk with or whatever while you're in line, it makes all the difference in the world.
I mean, you can't really be bored at a convention to start with is one thing. Now, if you compare it with fishing, if you're going fishing by yourself, you'll be bored out of your mind. But when you have a friend with you to sit there and like talk to each other like about just anything, it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
That's a good example. But the
Sure
con,
is.
you can't really be bored at a con is one thing. You meet all these new people. You meet all these new independent movie people. You meet all these like, you see all these vendors, all these weird stuff, which I bought some really cool earrings by the way. And you know, it's just like, it's just really awesome. You get all these free stuff too that they give you. Yay. Can't
Well,
complain about free stuff.
I'll tell you the one thing that made it for me, John, is I found a pair of steampunk goggles that I've been looking for a long time. You know, the Victorian industrial, the Victorian industrial science fiction look. I'm planning to get a costume together someday.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to put those goggles on top of my hat, and I'm going to get you and both of you to dress up as steampunkers as well, and we'll be a steampunk team.
Well, guess what? Next time I go to a con, I have my Sailor Mars outfit ready to go.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'll have to think of an appropriate anime character.
You're gonna
for
be Sailor
myself.
Moon?
We should Sailor Moon Man. I'll be Sailor Moon Man, and you be Sailor Moonus or Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that's what I'm wearing for Halloween. I'll be there in Halloween, by the way. I'll be in Louisville for Halloween, so if there's a party or whatever going on, you know what I'll be in.
Yes.
Right, the party or the Sailor Moon outfit?
Oh, I have the Sailor Mars outfit, the one in red
Sailor
with long
Mars.
black hair.
Oh,
Okay.
Holy cow, Maya.
She's in red. She's the one with fire.
Wow, gee whiz.
Yeah, I have the whole outfit. Well, I have the hair, obviously. I have the headpiece. I have the outfit. I have the gloves. I have the shoes, which I bought separately. And all I need left is my neck piece, which is my choker, and then I'm good to go. I'm having a photo shoot with it next weekend, so you'll see how it looks like.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Woo. But I will say this, though, because I know, Maya, you have a interview at 9 coming up here. But
Not an interview, but another talk show.
talk show. Okay, cool. But I'll tell you the one thing. Regardless, every con that I've gone to, yeah, you see a lot of the same people, a lot of the same vendors. But each time that I go, it's just like a lot more of the going from, hey, did I see you last time, to being, hey, you're back, good to see you too. Oh man,
Yeah.
again, to now it's like, are you going? You have to come by my table. I'll be over so and so. And then when Days of the Dead came around, for me personally, the highlight of the weekend, and Chris, I mean, you were definitely a part of that. The thing that got me was seeing all these same people that I see every time I go, but it hit me in a very different way. I've learned to believe instead of know, and hear about and try to understand the con family thing. I went there and it was like, you know what? I believe it. It happens because I am now officially a part of this con family. You know, it's not something
Yes.
you hear about and you can see and kind of touch into. I went there, and to me, when I got through and I did my review on it, to me, I said it ceased to be a con or an event. It is now a family reunion I get to go to every year.
When people actually recognize you, you know how often you've been going.
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
And when you
You indent your
Well,
face in their life.
You know, I'm getting closer to that point, John. I had a few people they recognized me. They said, "Hey, aren't you that guy that hangs around with John Ginder?" And I said, "Yeah."
say, yeah.
So I'm working my way up to that point, John.
No, but you know what though, Chris? And it will happen. I mean, I'm sure it already does anyways for you, but I know there's a few times, you know, now in the last 2 or 3 cons I've gone to where folks come up and say, "You're that John, the horror dude guy, right? John Horror Dude."
Yes.
Yeah. How do you? And I'm saying I don't recognize. It turns out they're just somebody that checks out the page all the time. They're not even on my Facebook, but they know who I am. It's like, holy cow,
John, face it. Face it now, you are no longer just John Kinder. You are John Horror Dude Kinder.
That's right.
So just leave that behind and go forward with your new self.
So,
Chris,
what was your favorite part about Fandom Fest?
My favorite part of Fandom Fest.
It's gonna be a tough one.
Well, really, it isn't tough. It is what John said earlier as well. It was really my favorite part was hanging out with my friends. Actually, it really was, and with you and Stephen and everyone else, Kenny and the whole group. It was fun.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, but I have to say, I was very happy that I get to meet Scott Wilson, which is Herschel from The Walking Dead. I have to be honest, like, he was my favorite out of everybody from The Walking Dead. I mean, Norman Reedus was there too, but, you know, he was ridiculous to meet anyways, but Scott Wilson, it was like a meant to be because we were just sitting in a lounge and he just came by, you know, that was pretty awesome. So I have to say that was one of my favorite parts. That made the whole thing for me. Like, I looked over every bad thing about Fandom Fest and I'm like, oh, I'm happy. I got what I wanted.
Yes, well, and the way you met him was the best way. He just walked in by chance when we were in the lounge. Yeah. That was the best way of all. Instead of having to stand in a line to meet someone, that's just the best way.
You know, that's something that I haven't got to experience yet, but I hear from so many people when they go, they say it's great during the day with all the stuff going on. They say the best part of it, including, you know, you have your after party stuff, but they say, but the best part of it is after it closes down for the night because people go out there and they said that, you know, I got pictures of some of my friends sitting outside around the pool at night with the little fire pit thing going, sitting there, you know, talking and playing cards and drinking with Jamie Lee Curtis and Linda Hamilton, or sitting back hearing Lance Henriksen just tell stories about things on the sets and having a ball. And they're getting pictures with them, they're signing stuff, and you're kind of going, so why pay if you could do it after hours, you know? I mean, but, you know, they say that it's so much fun because they just come out and they sit down and they're one of you. And it's so much fun. They say you just sit down and talk with them for hours, you know?
Yeah, they're just like us. They're no different. It's just because they are on the big screen and a lot of people know them. It's kind of sad because sometimes they feel like they don't have a life because they can't really go anywhere without being, you know, just smothered. Mm-hmm. But it's nice to actually meet them outside of them having to be there and working is like, you know, but it was really nice to actually meet him. It made my day. It made my whole day of that. The first, it was just like so unbearable with everything going on. It was ridiculous. And then when I met him, I was like, oh, I feel so much better now. I can go home and sleep now.
Yes,
I was like, the next day, if I don't get to meet anyone else, I'm perfectly fine. I'm good.
Yes. I witnessed it. I was there. You were glowing with happiness once you met him. I saw that.
She's in the barn.
I was like, ah, and then the ray of light from God was showing down at me. I was showered with happiness. I was happy. I mean, even though all I just had was to meet him, and we had a little talk, and you know, I took a picture, and I was just happy. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to bother him anymore. I knew he was tired, and I just know I wasn't like the kind that would just go crazy, you know. I was like, you know, I know you're tired, and thank you very much for taking your time out to have a little chat and take a picture with me. And he was very sweet. I was like, aw, and I was like, yay, I'm so happy.
Yes. Well, you got lucky. That didn't happen to me. If I have to stand in a line, I just don't seem to appreciate it or get as excited. But
yeah, that's why I was happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was great. I enjoyed it. I mean, you know, besides the other crap that happened, but I enjoyed it.
Well, you know, one other thing I will add before, just as a suggestion, if anybody's listening. I've been to much smaller conventions where they give you a little badge or something to wear. this one they gave, it was a wristband made out of paper that barely made it through the weekend for me.
Oh my God, that was so bad. I was
Yeah.
like, you make so much money. Why can't you give a plastic one? Like,
Yes, even at Wonderfest here in Louisville, it's a much smaller convention, but they do give you a nice quality little plastic badge with a pen and a card in it. You can put your name on it. And I would
to make it loose enough so you can take it out, but you're so scared you're gonna drop it. Oh, it was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, if you did the VIP thing, you got a nice plastic badge for your lanyard, but there was just a big separation there between, I guess, the money factor. But I think that just a pin-on badge would be really nice. It could be kept as a souvenir too.
Exactly. I know.
Or a card. A card's fine too. We could have put it in our badge slider.
Yeah, something. Sure, that would be fine. Anything.
I was holding on to mine so bad because it keeps sliding off, and it was ridiculous.
Holy cow! I think both of you guys should check on what it would take for you guys to get press passes next time, because Chris, you're a space jockey. You're here with the Contagious.
Well,
your magazine. Just have to talk to the folks who put it on and say, what are the requirements? What do you need for me to present to you?
There was a guy there that said that's what his dad did. Just, said he was pressed and he got a press pass. Mm-hmm. But at the point we didn't think about it, we wanted to go just have fun.
I had asked about that earlier, and maybe I asked the wrong person, but I had asked about it earlier, and it seemed to be a much more complicated process. But I had advertisements for Fandom Fest and Fright Night on my website, spacejockeyreviews.com, and and I had it there the whole time. You click on it, it goes to their website, all this business. And I would think, if you're listening to me, Fandom Fest, I would think that amount of advertisement on a legitimate website that gets some decent traffic would be worth $50 to give me a press pass, I would think. I would agree. But it just seemed a little complicated for me to get in from the person. Again, maybe I asked the wrong person, but maybe I'll ask someone else next time. But
there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, time is running out. There is still a lot more to talk about, but maybe we can talk about it next time.
Yeah, maybe we can. Because I'm just overflowing with things to talk about. They're just bubbling out of my ears right now. I can't even contain it. Yeah. I'm feeling like a zombie, actually. But
oh, snap. Oh, well, we can have a podcast next week for our projects that we've been working on and future projects.
All right.
So, but right now, thank you everyone for listening to the Contagious podcast with John Hordu Gender. And Chris Rennirt from Space Jockey Reviews, Lynn Maya Nguyen with Effective Magazine. We appreciate you guys listening in, and check us out later on our Facebook page of Space Jockey Reviews, as well as Valor23.
Yes. Valor23.blogspot.com.
There you go. I'm sitting here trying to think of the rest. Anything else you guys want to say before we say ciao?
Well, I'd just like to thank both of you for having me on your show today. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Definitely. It's great to have you back on, Mai. It's great to do a show with you again. I know it's been crazy for both of us, and thanks, folks, for kind of bearing with us and being patient. And we appreciate you taking your time. So.
Thank you, guys. See ya. Peace.
See ya.
Yes, see ya.
Bye.
Clicking the link, lean in, your grin, 2 mics, 1 vibe. All right, let's dive.